Hello again and welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a great start of this year and wow, it's good to be back. My apologies for my absence. I had a very busy schedule and between jobs, painting commissions and recording and everything, it was a bit difficult to keep up with everything. So today I'm going to paint Roxas from Kingdom Hearts 2. This model was made by Collection. I'd recommend you go and check his socials. He has amazing models and hopefully I didn't drive the guy crazy because I've been tagging him on all my posts, but when I do these projects, whether it's for me personally or to make a commission, I like to always give credit when credit is due. So for this print I used Elegoo Saturn 8K, and if you're someone who's using 3D printing and you live in a cold country, always make sure to keep the area around the printer warm as much as possible. You will not really have a nice time after, like, let's say you have a print for 8 hours, you come and you see that half of the print has fallen off your build plate. So always make sure you keep your resin in a warm environment, especially the printer when you're printing. A big shout out to my Patreons. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. If you would like to support this channel, you can join my Patreon and you will have behind the scenes and early access, and also specially made tutorials with more in-depth videos where you can see what types of colors I use and other various techniques. Also, you can support this channel by liking the video and share it with anyone who is interested in the hobby. It will help a lot as well. As you can see here, we have some problems that happened during the printing process. Mostly this happens when it's very cold. As you can see here, we had some layer lines, and it seems like that's the only thing we have in common. We don't function very well in cold weather. So I'm just using my trusty milliput to fix the problem areas and use some water to smooth it out, and while at it I will go through every individual piece just to check whatever problem there might be. Use whatever tools you have at your disposal to get the job done, and leave the milliput to cure and fully harden before we can move to the sanding process. As always, the most crucial part of this process, make sure you take your time in this step, because in the end it will affect the end result. So to quickly get through this, I use the rotary tool to sand off the milliput while dusting off the parts regularly, and also feel the surface for any uneven bits. Moving on to Roxas pieces, I used a different tip and lightly sand off any support marks left by the supports during the printing. Just don't press too much or you will end up wipe off any details from the model part. After all of that, I used various grits of sanding paper to smoothen out any scratches left by the sanding tool, while trying not to snap the cape in two as well. Once everything is sanded, I mix some epoxy glue and start putting the base parts all together. As a side note, if you decide to make some pieces on your model kit, you want them more glossy than the other ones, you have two options, which is either something like this, which is a gloss varnish. In this case I'm using the Vallejo. I mean, this I had it for quite some time, even though it's a small container. I've had it for almost a year, and I still, as you can see, it's like half empty. It's very good, especially if you want to use it for the eyes. In this case, for Roxas base, I used this. So this is just a regular spray can, which is just a transparent gloss. I mean, I think I just got it for about €4, something like that. And I mean, before using it, it's always best to put it in warm water to warm up the can, and then shake it up and make sure you mix it thoroughly. Spraying over the model, leave it to dry, and then do another pass. And keep going until you get the desired glossiness. It's important that if you use this one and you do a lot of passes, don't touch it, leave it to dry completely. If you can, it's always best to leave it out for 24 hours, because as soon as you will touch it, you will leave finger marks all over it and it will not look good. As always, I will start to base coat all the pieces and use the white primer to give a zenithal highlight. In this case, I only applied the zenithal on the face of the model. Using some blue interference color on the base, I hit the high points to simulate that nice blue reflection. You can use the light source that you have available to hit that reflective area. For the coat, I used a color shift, which is called the Psychotic Illusions. Now, don't be fooled by the color, as once it's dry, it will give that nice deep green color. I also used this color to make the highlights, as you can see. I placed the coat down and hit the points the light was reflecting on as a guide. For the zipper, I used regular silver color, which I switched on to a bigger brush just so I can finish the job more quicker. The shoes are pretty straightforward, dark grey for the sole, then I used a black ink to give it that shiny leathery look. I tried it once and I really liked the way it make it look like a sort of like a real leather. On this sword, I used the masking putty to leave exposed just the parts that I will paint in metal in a bit. I was so terrified that I might break something while painting it, so make sure that when you are handling very thin pieces, always be gentle, and if you can pick a toothpick or something like that instead of using your hands, because you never know what you might break in the process. So for the jewel, I used gold color for the outline and pink metals for the inside of the jewel. After everything is dried, I removed the putty, and for hard to reach areas, I just grab some more putty, press a little bit gently, and it will peel off straight away. One sword down, one to go. So for this one, I wanted to keep the sword as accurately as possible to the game, so I gave it a pearl-like metal color, and from underneath I sprayed a metallic blue for that ethereal look. Use the Q-tip to wipe off the edges just so I can keep that sharp, clean look. And for the top of the blade, I worked my way from the outer color inwards to make life easier and a better color transition, or at least that's how my brain was working at the time. Up next, the pinkle, you know the drill, pink base and transparent red for the shadows. Start layering the skin colors, starting with the midtones. As you notice here, my airbrush cup turned a little bit on the redder side. I just mixed some transparent red to give it a little more of a rosy color to use for the shadows. So for the eyes, I start with a dark blues for the outer part of the circle, then work my way up with the lighter colors. Then we'll finish with the eye reflection, which is just a white color. So for the hair, let's mask the face first. It's very good to do a pink layer for the dark tones and layer the brown and followed by the highlights. It makes a nicer shade in my opinion. Whenever you want to shade yellow colors, it's always best to use a pink shadow. Now, let's uncover the whole thing. Hopefully I don't get any color spill. Now let's assemble all the pieces and we're pretty much done. And so finally that was Roxas, and finally this video was done. I hope you enjoyed it, and apologies again for taking I think over 3 months to finish this video, but hopefully it's done. And after this one I will have another one coming up, which will be this guy over here. So yeah, after this I will start working on this guy's video, and we'll give you a little bit of story how this came out to be. And yeah, I hope you will have a good time watching it as well. So for now, thank you again for watching, and as always, stay safe and take care.